Good morning. As fate would have it, I'm just leaving the gym now. And as fate would have it, I was in the changing room all by myself, getting ready to leave after the events of yesterday, when the woman who can't mind her own effing business pitched up. She said, "Good morning." I said, because I don't speak to people. I will acknowledge her and I will explain why shortly. Right, so she, as though nothing had happened, came out of the pool. First one to complain, always the first one to like I said, be in somebody's business, notices everything. So I was racing because she was arriving, I was leaving, and I'm racing so I can get out of the changing room before her, so I can leave without telling her goodbye, have a good morning, because I'm that kind of person, and that's what I would normally do. So this is part 2 of me sticking the boot, the knife, or whatever you want to call it, in. So it worked out perfect. She was in there. So as I was leaving, what I wanted, you see, because sometimes I like to stage things, but with in situations like this, you can't stage it as you would. But it worked out that when I was in the pool, there's a man who comes every day, and he's really skinny. He said he used to be really fat. He lost a lot of weight, but he's addicted to exercise. So he comes in the morning. There's nothing there to burn. He's skin and bones. And while I was in the pool, he was bouncing between the sauna and the steam room, which are adjacent to the pool, and he fell. But because he's sort of super skinny like that, I perhaps assumed, once people were around him making sure he was okay, I assumed he'd fainted or something, because honestly there's nothing to him. So he slipped. He's alright, he'll be back again tomorrow, no drama. But as I was leaving, there was one woman who was there, and she was in the pool and she witnessed it. So she was around the corner as I was leaving. I didn't say goodbye to this woman. I completely blanked her. So in other words, I got changed ahead of her and gathered my belongings. But I neglected to say when she said morning, and I said, She said, are you finished? And I said very sarcastically, yes, I'm done. The pool is all yours. Everything is all yours. And she didn't have anything to say, because typically these people, they only have a mouth when they've got an audience. Whereas with me, it doesn't matter whether there's an audience or whether it's me by myself, you're still going to get the same treatment. So anyway, this woman was around the corner, and I bid her goodbye, and she said to me, is that guy all right? And so we entered into a conversation, and she began telling me about one of her relatives who had bodied this, I don't even know why I'm even bothering to start saying that, or this body dysmorphia or something. Anyway, so it's sort of like he sees his body one way, but and we see it another way. So he thinks he's fat and needs to lose weight, and we see that he's skin and bones. So that's where we are. So cutting a very long story short now, this woman, as I said, the one I blanked, she likes to be in everybody's business, so she's around the corner listening. And here is how I know that I've gotten into her head. Ordinarily, she would have come around and, who is it? What is it? She was around there listening, and it must have been burning her to come and butt into the conversation. So that is how it was left. So from here on in, because I can, I'm just, in situations like that, I've only been a member of the gym for June, maybe 8 months. Let's be generous and say 8 months. And they've been there for more than 20 years, so it's sort of like wanting to run the new people out of town. But I'm telling you, I will probably come here and do a video one day and say, they don't come back anymore. One by one, they've stopped coming. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to be I go for what I go there for. I don't go to make friends. I go to exercise. I go to use the sauna, and if it, it's sort of like it's this thing, and I've had a long history of it. I think in one of my videos going way back, I mentioned about when I was in my mid-20s, I was working among some women, and this was back in the 90s when you were allowed to smoke indoors. And as I've never smoked a cigarette in my life or had a cup of tea or coffee in my life, I didn't see the point in going into the tea room during break and lunchtime. So I would just stay at my workstation and have my lunch or my snack or whatever I was having. So this one woman who was old enough to be my grandmother, the one I'm talking about, she's 80, so she's old enough to know better. Right, so the one I'm talking about now, she came up to me. Obviously they'd all sat around talking about me because that's what they do. And she came up to me and she said, "Why don't you come into the tea room? Is it because you think you're better than us?" And I said yes. Because I know that wasn't the answer she was looking for. So similar to when I said to them yesterday that the exercise class isn't working for them and I look better than them, that is not the kind of thing that they would expect anybody to say to them. But that's what they need to hear because they think too much of themselves. So this is very interesting. She didn't have a mouth this morning. She asked if I'm finished. So in other words, they want to have the pool to themselves or whatever it is. But I'll be back on Monday. Monday's when we're going to be there at the same time. They're going to pitch up at 8:30, and I will have another video. I don't know, maybe something might happen in between then, but this is going to be an exercise in how to put people in their place and let them understand that they are nothing special or anybody that you have to make allowances for. Just because they've been there a long time, it doesn't mean they own the place, in other words. So that was that. So I kind of had fun with that. So even though I wasn't... I hoped that I would be in a situation where I would be able to talk to someone, so it could be emphasized to her that I'm not actually speaking to her by choice, and that because sometimes people think that you're just in a funny mood, you're just quiet. So she could hear me engaging perfectly normally with the other woman and bidding her a good day when I was done, and she didn't get that treatment, which normally I give to everyone. So I will report back and show you. But I don't like to sort of set myself up as the instructor, but I know there are some people who talk about being bullied and harassed and all of that. I will show you how to deal with the bullies and the harassers. All right, look after yourselves. Have a good day. Bye bye.